right, we are back with Vice Mayor Jim Shulman. Final segment on the program this morning. Calls, if you'd like to call in, you see the number there on the screen. It's kind of interesting. I was talking to you about this proposed charter amendment. There's 4 of them on the long ballot coming up with the election that we have in August. And I think early voting is about to kick off. Maybe it started already in Metro. But Chief Drake is supportive of this. To keep in mind, all law enforcement right now is having trouble hiring new officers. Yep. It's just like everyone, they're having trouble hiring. So this is a quote from him. For the past 60 years, new officers have had to meet the same physical requirements as those required by the U.S. military. If a person is not tall enough, according to military standards, is heavier than the Army or Navy allows, or had a childhood history of asthma, they must seek a medical waiver from the Civil Service Commission to remain in our hiring process. I don't have the specifics of how they would lessen that, but what is your take on this? I mean, we certainly want to have fit officers on the job, and candidly, I'll say I see a lot of very fit officers. Frankly, I see some officers that don't look like they're in that great shape. I don't know if you just have to pass the test once, and that's it, but what do you think of lessening it? The chief is for it.
Yeah, I think it's like what you were saying before, and one of the callers said before, and that is we're short police officers. Yeah. And I think they've been having trouble attracting them for whatever reason. Just like, you know, other people are having trouble attracting people to fill jobs that are out there right now. So if you take away some of the restrictions, or, you know, if you're not tall enough, does that make a difference?
Yeah, childhood asthma. If you have a history of asthma can be treated. I don't see why that would be an issue for an officer. I think you should have, if you're a police officer, it's an active job, some physical abilities to, whatever, run to a scene or some strength. I mean, there just should be some.
And I think they do have requirements. Yeah,
they're not saying get rid of it, I guess, and how tall you are. And what do you think of having the Metro Police have to face the same standards as the U.S. military?
Well, so I think that's part of the problem, is that I think it's tied to the U.S. military, and that causes the problem of having people come in. So you can loosen it up a little bit. My guess is other cities have probably done the same thing. At this point, we need police officers.
I think it's out of necessity that they want some of these. The main thing is, though, we need police officers, so let's lower our standards and hire a lower caliber individual. I don't want that. And I don't think that's what this would do. But that's the important thing. The same thing like with, there's a shortage of bus drivers, school bus drivers. I don't want them taking someone that ordinarily shouldn't be behind the wheel, but we're so desperate, let's take them. You know, if it comes to that, you just have to shut down the bus. But I don't want some clown who shouldn't be driving behind the wheel of a school bus.
Nobody wants this. And obviously, we want to hire individuals who want to be police officers, who are, you know, who want to do this, who can be taught how to do it, who are skilled, who can think through it. The fact that you may be an inch too short, you know, maybe that really isn't something that we're going to have to send through, you know, some type of commission.
It seems to me that, as he said, this has been 60 years on the books. And I think there have been advances, especially with treatment like things for asthma. Yeah. Time maybe to allow for some of that, and so that seems reasonable, doesn't it? Yeah.
Seems reasonable, yeah.
Let's take a call from Stan. Stan, good morning. Hi, Stan. Is it Stan?
Hey, Stan.
Stanley, Stan? Are you there, caller?
Yeah, good morning.
Hey,
morning.
What's on your mind?
I just had a comment about the RNC or whatever convention there in Nashville.
Yeah.
How much money does Nashville want to take in? It just boils down to money. Bring in the money, but the bigwigs are making the money off of it, and after all the events are over, the local people in the state of Tennessee, you got to foot the bill for all this growth and conventions. And in my view, it don't help nobody but a very few of the rich people.
Maybe talk about that big picture, not just the convention, but the convention is an event that would bring, okay, we have the Grand Prix about to come to Nashville again. That's a big event. We had the NFL draft a while back. We just had the huge fireworks show. We have all kinds of things. Is he right, or do you want to address that the monies that come in from all these people that attend these events, who does that benefit?
Well, so you ever wonder, I mean, people say that if we have the convention, it's going to bring in $100 million economic impact.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody knows that or not. Yeah. I mean, because nobody's sitting over there with a cash register figuring this stuff out. You just make up a number and you try to estimate it correctly, but who knows? who makes the money off of it? I mean, the money has to be paid for security, for everybody involved with it. The economic impact, I assume it would help businesses, down on
You have
Broadway.
customers ordering meals in restaurants that pays the salaries of the chefs and the staffers.
So you've got a big giant thing going on, with the Bridgestone and at the city center. So there's going to be an economic impact. People driving in, paying for gas, whatever, flying in, hotels. That's where it helps. Now, I think the caller was trying to say, does it go someplace else? Does somebody make money off of it? Maybe look at it from the other standpoint. I think cities want to be careful so that they don't get stuck with, well, everybody came in and had a good time, but now we're going to have to clean up this whatever's happened, and so nobody wants to be left holding the bag on something like that. And I think there were, at least on this one, people who would step in and say, we're going to cover any type of damage or loss or any overages that you've got. So again, I'm not sure.
Well, and there's the tax revenue, though, right? Maybe that,
there's
and
the
that
tax
goes into the
revenue
city's
as well.
budget.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, again, you don't know how much economic impact is going to be. What are the outcomes of the whole thing, and then who stands to make money off of it? Look, obviously, we have lots of people that come in right now for conventions, and they spend lots of money, and we're really happy about that. I will say one other thing. It goes back to. You mentioned the NFL draft.
Yeah.
All right. So remember the cherry trees?
Sure. That comes up every once in a while.
Yeah. So it was at that point that people started saying, no, you can't just come in here and tell us what you're going to do and then tell us that we're going to cut down cherry trees. Those are cherry trees that were given to us by the country of Japan. And because they were in the way of the NFL, it's like, yeah, just get them out of the way. It's like, no. At some point, somebody's starting to draw the line and say, we don't have to do everything that you want us to do. We have a city, we want to protect it. We want to protect those cherry trees. The city's changing quickly enough as it is, but every so often, people do get their back up and say, no.
Yeah. I just think, Nashville's not Milwaukee, it's not Louisville or something like that. It's nice that we draw the line now where I know a lot of cities are going to do whatever they can to draw whatever they can. I think we can be more discriminating. You want to know why? Everyone wants to come here. So if the NFL draft wants to come here, you certainly want to accommodate them, but you can also say to them, look, as you come, let's be real clear about certain things here. We're not cutting up any trees for you, or, and they may come again someday. But I just think, I wish Nashville now, I think we're to the point, and I think Butch Spiriton would echo this, that we can be a little more selective. And it's not like, what, you're coming to spend money? Come on. Let's stop saying, no. We'll think about it. Okay, yeah, you come on. I mean, it just seems to me like we're more of a destination that people want to come from. It's not so much that we have to sell ourselves anymore.
No, it goes both ways. Somebody wants to come here bad enough, and they want something done, and we just simply say, you know what, that's off the table. No, you can't do that. Then you got to figure out if they still want to come. Right. But at some point, somebody wants to come down and tear down Bridgestone Arena and then rebuild it because it's in the way. It's like, you know what?
Not gonna,
no.
We're going to draw the line.
No, we're just not going to do certain things. So.
You talk about the big events, and this is just kind of off the point, but, I told you I was down for the 4th of July event, and, you were saying, you're left holding the bag to clean up. I've always wondered, after whether the NFL draft or after 300,000 people downtown for the 4th of July, what happens after it's done? Now, I happen to have to be down there after 10 o'clock to do a live shot. So as the crowd left after the fireworks were over, I got to witness it, and it is amazing. I'm thinking, wow, they're going to be here all night. Man, right after it was done, all of those fenced barriers, okay? All of them, I blinked, and crews had already packed them up, okay? And then all of a sudden there were crews out there picking up all the trash, grabbing, and this was all within about 45 minutes. Now it's going to take time to bring down the stage. But I don't know if you've ever been out there after the fact. I know you always get to leave early and stuff like that. But I was there for a change after the show was over. And just watching there on First and Broad, the way they it was incredible. I went, wow, they got it down, and this place will be cleaned up in a couple of hours. After 300,000 people, and they left it as a mess. And there were fences and everything up. Those things were down, packed up, getting put on trucks, and out of there in a matter of hours.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, clearly they've
really
done
good
it
job.
before.
They've
They
done it
know
before.
what they're doing. Paid staffers that come down, and it's heavy, hard work. But boy, and then they're clearing the garbage away. And I think 3 or 4 hours, certainly by the next morning, when someone's maybe driving down to Riverfront Park, you wouldn't have known there was a show down there.
Well, I'll pass it along to Butch Bearden and the people.
Tell them.
that
I
put
mean,
them on, 'cause I think that's great.
I was amazed. It's just with the big events, and right now they're already, I understand today, setting up the barriers for the Grand Prix. I think. Are you going to go to see any of that? Did you go last year?
I took a tour last year beforehand, but
I was thinking of maybe going on. I can buy one ticket for like a Friday just to see it.
you think they'll be? You think they'll have these there?
I made him stuffed grape leaves today.
Yeah.
Now, see, I'm a healthy guy. Those are stuffed with ground bison and ground turkey, and you brought me a zebra cake. Oh, I do like these oatmeal cream pies. This big honey bun.
Yeah.
And donuts. Are you trying to kill me?
No.
No,
but you notice you're getting that, and I'm eating something healthy.
Look, I hope you like those. Now, I made those myself. Have you ever had them? It's not like, you ever heard of cabbage rolls? These are dolmades. It's a Greek delicacy, and they're grape leaves wrapped around basically what would be a meatball, but it is ground beef, ground bison, along with garlic, rice, seasonings, parsley, and then you boil it in chicken broth, not that long, till it's cooked through. And they are delicious. I can't wait to hear. I hope you text me and tell me what you think of them.
I'm going to go out in the car and eat them now.
Okay, my friend.
All
Well,
right.
I know you are a gourmet like myself. I hope you enjoy them. Jim, it's good to have you on.
Thank you.
We'll see you again in about a month.
Yeah.
In the meantime, folks, join us in just a moment for a programming note about tomorrow. I'll be right back.